Hi guys, welcome back. My name is Nerdy Operator. Welcome back to my channel. I apologize for not having anything out in the past week and a half or so. I had unfortunately come down with COVID, but I am finally on the mend and I'm feeling well enough to bring you guys another video. And this is a video I've actually been sitting on for about 2.5, almost 3 weeks now. And I've actually thought long and hard about what particular guns I would actually like to see in the supposed Modern Warfare 2019 sequel that is supposed to be coming out later this year. It is 2022, so I hope everyone had a very nice New Year's. I unfortunately did not because I was sick, I was miserable, I was coughing up a lung. It was so much fun. It really wasn't. So I do apologize if I have a slight cough in this video. I'm still trying to get over that. So yeah, I just wanted to talk about 5 particular guns that I really want to see in the sequel. I don't expect really any of these to make an appearance. Actually, no, that's not true. I actually do expect at least 2 of these to make an appearance. The rest of them, I don't think they will, but I do think that they should. Whether or not they actually do, time will tell. We'll only see once the game actually comes out, and only if it actually is a sequel to Modern Warfare 2019. Most of these guns we've seen in previous Modern Warfare games. Only one of these has actually appeared in most of the Modern Warfare games. It wasn't in Call of Duty 4, but it was in Modern Warfare 2, Modern Warfare 3, and in 2019. That is on the list today, but it's actually not going to be our first pick. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get right into this, shall we? First up, I want to talk about the AK-12. Now, the AK-12 we've only seen in one Call of Duty game. It was not a Modern Warfare game, but we saw it in Call of Duty Ghosts. Now, the reason I chose the AK-12, some of you might find a little bit strange or a little bit too much of a nerdy reason, but let me just explain why I decided to pick the AK-12 over the AK-47. So the reason I want the AK-12 back is there's actually one main reason, especially if we're going to be having another story that involves the Russian military or just Russia in general. We've had leaks and rumors about what the supposed story for the Modern Warfare sequel will be about, but if the Russian military or government or whatever has anything to do with this next game's campaign, then we need to have the AK-12 over the AK-47. And the reason being is because the Russian military has not used the AK-47 since 1973. In 1974, the AK-47, or the AKM by that point, was phased out in favor of the AK-74. And that was Russia's main military service rifle up until recent years when they adopted the AK-12. While the AK-47, or AKM, is very popular in the world, it's probably the most well-known firearm of all time. When it's in the hands of Russians, I'm not gonna lie, like I said, you can call this nerdy or just really picky. I don't really like anachronisms, especially when it comes to firearms. Ever since Call of Duty 4, seeing the Russians use the AK-47, it's just like, no, they don't use the AK-47. They haven't used it in a very long time. They've been using the AK-74. That would have been a much more appropriate choice. So yeah, anachronisms kind of bother me, and that's really the main reason I chose the AK-12. And honestly, I actually really care for the AK-12 in Ghost. I thought it was actually a pretty decent gun. It was pretty OP from what I remember at first. When the game first launched. I'm pretty sure they nerfed it. I honestly don't remember a whole lot of Ghosts run, which is funny considering Ghosts I played almost as much as I played the Modern Warfare games, but I just honestly can't really remember. But anyway, that's why I chose that. Next up, the Scar H. Now, when I'm talking about the Scar H, I'm talking Modern Warfare 2 style, with the clean iron sights, low recoil, and really high damage. And just the firing sound. Like, the firing sound in Modern Warfare 2 for the Scar was just, mwah. It was great. I loved hearing it. And we did have the Scar H in games like Black Ops 2 and Modern Warfare 2019, but When talking about the Modern Warfare 2019 version, I personally felt like it was just complete, utter garbage. Like, it had high damage, sure, the recoil was manageable, but it just seemed so lackluster. It didn't really have any of the flair that the Scar H from Modern Warfare 2 had, or even the Scar L from Modern Warfare 3 for that matter. And I was honestly really disappointed by it. And you know, I just felt like out of all the guns that they could have brought back from the previous Modern Warfare games, it was cool that they went with the Scar H, but they didn't really do it any justice. It just wasn't a common choice for players, myself included, and especially in Warzone. I thought in Warzone it was absolutely fucking terrible. It just didn't have what it took to be reliable in Warzone, especially because Warzone relies heavily on extended mags, and the largest magazine you could get for the Scar H was a 30 rounder, which, you know, I even have a couple of wins with the Scar H on Warzone, but they weren't running and gunning. They were pretty campy, I'm not gonna lie, I'll be completely honest with you there. But yeah, it was just the Scar H in 2019 just wasn't good, and they need to bring back the Scar H in true Modern Warfare 2 glory, with a great firing sound, and just, it needs to be viable. Next up, the M13, or MCX Virtus as it's called in real life. Now, this gun, a lot of people might argue, was weak in comparison to the other assault rifles that were available in Modern Warfare 2019, but I liked it for one particular, I guess it's really only one reason. It reminded me a lot of the ACR from Modern Warfare 2 in terms of it having moderate to low damage but very little recoil. It was a laser beam. It is a great gun, and even with the sad state of Modern Warfare 2019 right now, it is so broken, but even in the sad state, I can actually still have decent fun using this gun, and I just honestly think it needs to come back. I mean, honestly, it was the only assault rifle in the game that I actually truly used. I remember when Modern Warfare 2019 first launched and everything was about the M4A1 being overpowered, especially in Warzone and stuff like that, but the M13 was just my go-to. I just loved that very little recoil pattern, and it was so easy to control. It was great for picking people off at long ranges. It just gave me a lot of Modern Warfare 2 ACR vibes. That's why I think it needs to come back. The one thing about the M13 that I hope that they do change, though, is the damage configures. Like I said, they were pretty low, and especially in Warzone, it wasn't as accommodating as some of the other ARs like the M4 or the Grau even, but I really want to see the M13 come back. It was a great gun. I love the gun in real life, and I would really like to see it come back. This is probably the only gun from Modern Warfare 2019 that I actually want to have come back. Now with this one, I think everyone and their mother will agree with me on this one. The intervention. I mean, if you guys grew up during the golden era of Call of Duty and played Modern Warfare 2 during its prime, you will remember this sniper rifle, and you will remember it fondly. Oh god, the nostalgia, guys. Now, I understand that this particular firearm was brought back in the Call of Duty 4 remaster late into its life, but it just wasn't the same. It didn't have, I don't think it had the same reload animation. I might be wrong there. Tell me in the comments down below if I'm wrong there, but I'm pretty sure it was a different reload animation. And it also didn't have as sexy of a firing sound. And I know that the intervention came back as a quote-unquote classic gun for Call of Duty Infinite Warfare, but we're not going to talk about that because I refuse to acknowledge that game's existence outside of mentioning it. And when it comes to the intervention, the one thing that people will remember the most is just the amazing firing sound that it had. And when you look back at like the quick scope lobbies, the trick shotting lobbies, the no scoping lobbies, the 1v1s, all that good stuff, that was just part of Modern Warfare 2's flair back in the day. And you know, some people might say that Call of Duty 4, the original one, started the 1v1 sniper, quick scope, no scope, trick shotting, all that stuff. They might say that COD 4 started that trend, but Modern Warfare 2 with the intervention is what solidified it. And other sniper rifles were kind of used in the same way that the intervention was, mainly the Barrett, like for quick scoping, no scoping, trick shotting, and stuff like that. But I mean, we had the Barrett in Call of Duty 4, and while it was probably the next best pick besides the M40, it just didn't have the gravitational pull that the intervention had for us. And see, I'm not much of a sniper in Call of Duty much anymore. Honestly, out of all the Call of Duty games, the one I probably sniped in the most was Modern Warfare 2019. Before that, maybe Modern Warfare 3. But yeah, like even when I would snipe in Modern Warfare 2, it would only just to be, you know, quick scoping and search and destroy. I did that a lot. Search and destroy was like my favorite game mode to play when using the intervention, because it was just always so satisfying to get, you know, a round win with quick scoping or no scoping kills. It was just great, guys. And now my number one pick, and again, I think everyone and their mother will agree with me on this one, the ACR. This is hands down my most favorite gun in Call of Duty history, and also my favorite gun in real life. I love my ACR, and it is all because of Modern Warfare 2. Modern Warfare 2, when that game first came out, I was mostly an AK-47 user, and then once I started using the ACR, like, I can't really remember in great detail. I just remember playing the campaign, and I was like, I don't remember what mission, but I remember picking up the ACR, and I'm just like, oh my god, this gun has no recoil, it sounds sexy. I hope it's in multiplayer, and it was. I didn't really pay much attention because, like I said, I was an AK-47 user. Ever since then, I have just been a huge fan of the ACR, and its low recoil was like the perfect moderator for its very low damage. When you compare it to the rest of the assault rifles in Modern Warfare 2, its damage was very lacking, but its near zero recoil made up for that. You could snipe people across the map with the ACR. It was that good. And we did have the ACR come back in Modern Warfare 3 with similar attributes. They were a little bit different. The Modern Warfare 3 version had, first off, it was chambered in 6.8 instead of 5.56 like the Modern Warfare 2 version. So that coupled it with higher damage, slightly increased recoil, and a slower fire rate than the Modern Warfare 2 version. However, it didn't really change. It was still a laser beam. It was still perfect at long ranges. It was just, again, it was the best gun in the game. Honestly, I feel like in Modern Warfare 3, the ACR was probably more widely used than it was in Modern Warfare 2. This is just based off of from what I can remember. I just remember seeing the ACR a lot more in Modern Warfare 3's multiplayer than Modern Warfare 2. And I saw it a lot in Modern Warfare 2's multiplayer, don't get me wrong, but it was like, it was pretty spread out between the ACR, the UMP, the FAL with modded controllers, everyone remembers that. Yeah, the FAMAS, the TAR-21, the SCAR-H. This gun just needs to come back, guys. It really does. I was actually quite shocked that it didn't come back for Modern Warfare 2019. Instead, we got some knockoff called the Kilo 141, the H&K 433 as it's called in real life. Yeah, I really hope that the ACR comes back. It is my number one pick, and I really want it to come back. I don't expect it to, but it really should. It really should, guys. And that's it, guys. That is my top 5 picks of guns that should come back in Modern Warfare 2 2022. Let me know what you guys think. Give me your guys' top 5 down in the comments below. I'd love to hear it. I'd love to read it. Let me know if you agree or disagree with my choices. I am going to go back to streaming Thursday through Sunday. It is a new year, and things have calmed down a little bit when it comes to my illness with COVID, to where I can actually start getting back on top of my YouTube videos and streaming. So be sure to check me out on Twitch. The link to my channel is down in the description, as well as the links to all my social media. So feel free to check me out. I really hope you guys do check me out. It helps me out a lot. I'll be putting up a new video on YouTube every Saturday. I stream everything, mostly shooters. Lately I've been streaming the Metro games. I've been really enjoying those games. Playing through the first two. I just recently completed my first playthrough of Metro Exodus. Yeah, guys, if you guys want to see anything in particular, feel free to let me know, and I can make a video on it. I appreciate it, guys. Thank you so much. This is Nerdy Operator signing off. I'll see you next time.